Ladies, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Please be advised that this movie has no nudity.
I'm out.
Come on, Eddie. Let's go to the movies.
Yeah. I just have to wee-wee.
And we're back.
Just like the Five Musketeers.
What the hell am I looking at?
A country where culture means pornography and slasher films.
If you had these boobs, you'd be obsessed with them too.
Very exciting, big event. Everybody's excited, huh?
Last time I went to the pictures, I was looking at all the jiglins. And...
We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends.
Up the airy mountain, down the rushing glen, we dare not go a-hunting for fear of little men. You see, nobody ever goes in, and nobody ever comes out.
That scene was so damn creepy.
Do you know what that little ditty is from?
Yeah, it was from The Tinker.
It is from The Tinker.
I don't know.
Oh, well then you're not prepared for this episode then.
Captain Whistly knows here, can't...
That actually was from a poem called The Fairies by Willy Allingham. And it was a long poem. But just that little part, up until the you see nobody ever goes in, nobody ever comes out, is from our topic tonight, which is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Also known as the Tinker.
The Tinker Man, yes. So
the creepy guy with meat cleavers hanging from his cart.
Yes, we'll talk about him later. So 1971, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it turned 50 years old this year. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Who are we?
Who are me?
Who are we?
We are Cinemadness, the podcast. I am Alison, and I'm here with Roman.
Hello, gobstoppers.
And Adam.
Spitting is a disgusting habit.
I know, a worse one. And, welcome. Welcome.
She was a bad egg.
Hack, hack.
I guess that's it.
We're high energy tonight.
We already talked about all the cool things from the movie. Anyways,
good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night. Anywho, okay, so we're going to talk about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 version. We are not talking about the remake by Tim Burton. We're talking about the original because it was its birthday this year and it turned 50 years old.
50 years old.
That's old. This was one of my favorite movies as a child. I've seen it 50 times easily.
It's once per decade.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Math. I thought as a kid that the worst part in the movie was the song that Charlie's mom...
Oh, Cheer Up Charlie?
Yeah, Cheer Up Charlie.
It is the worst part of the movie.
Well, I used to think that until I watched it again recently, and there's a lot of problems with this movie.
You know, it's funny. I watched it yesterday to get ready for this episode, and my entire thought process on this movie has flipped.
Do you still like it, though?
It's weird. I absolutely love the first half of the movie. Because the Wonkamania stuff is so Monty Python. It's so out there and adult humorish. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the woman looking for her getting the ransom.
Right.
And the guy with the computer. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Why didn't I know this?
Yeah. Yeah. As a kid, you don't see that.
Yeah.
2? I can't do 2.
And the teacher from Crawl.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to watch this again, because I watched it with my son a couple of times, and as I'm watching this, I'm like, this movie has a lot of things that I have a problem with, that I think they could have done better. I think why did they do this? This is kind of creepy. I don't understand this. So I just, kind of looked at it differently with adult eyes. I mean, everybody knows the story of this movie. It's about a poor child named Charlie Bucket. He becomes obsessed with finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, and he gets to visit Willy Wonka's chocolatorium. Is that a word I think I just made up?
Or factory.
I like chocolatorium.
Chocolatorium. I mean, this is Roald Dahl we're talking about, so it could be weird stuff.
Yeah, chocolatorium with 4 other bratty children from around the world, and chaos ensues.
Yes. Bratty children and their parents.
Yes, bratty children and their parents. So
or grandpas that don't want to get out of bed.
Just one grandpa. So
one thing that I one thing that I noticed this time was the almost whimsical children's book like names from everyone. Like Grandpa George, Grandma Georgina, Grandpa Joe, Grandma Josephine. Everybody had weird, like crazy, like whimsical children book names. And I'm like, I didn't notice that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I noticed it, but I didn't notice how connected they were, I guess.
I always thought that was dumb and just laziness in my mind. Like George, Georgina, Joe, Josephine. Like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know. It's
better than Mike TV.
It is.
And Mrs. TV.
Yeah, Mrs. TV.
I mean, you don't know what it says. I mean, that was a brilliant improv by Gene Wilder.
Mrs. TV?
Yeah.
Oh. He does a lot of improv, I think. So.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it with adult eyes. So the film opens up with the credits, right? And we just have scenes of how chocolate is made. There's just like melty chocolate oozing out of everything on our screen.
It's chocolate porn is what it is.
It is.
Welcome to the Ghirardelli Chocolate Factory, folks.
Yeah, I used to think this was cool, and now I think it's just gross.
It's like how it's made, but disgusting.
Yeah, I'm not a huge chocolate person anyways. Like, I won't just sit and eat a chocolate bar. It has to have Reese's peanut butter in it. But watching this chocolate and all the like Wonka like wrappers and stuff, like it's just boring now. I don't know, like get on with it. And the graphics kind of like fizzled in, like it's so 1971.
The 70s graphics,
yeah.
Post Batman the movie.
Yeah. And it plays a instrumental version of the Candyman. So
I thought it was pure imagination.
Was it pure imagination? You might be right.
I think it was.
Yeah. Again,
I know it ends with pure imagination.
Yeah, which goes right into the candy shop, the Bill's Candy Store. Did you know it was called Bill's Candy Store?
Yeah, and that drives me crazy too, because if you look around, you don't even know what damn continent you're on when they're shooting the movie, because it's in like America,
well, that's the
Europe.
Whole film.
I know it's weird because
they did that on purpose though.
They did that on purpose.
Yeah, I saw a documentary on one time, and they purposely did that where you feel like you're in a unique environment.
It doesn't look unique. It looks like Europe with names like Bill.
Okay.
Like, oh, there's my school next to, the German church next to... It's just Germany is all it is.
Yeah, it definitely looks like German.
It was a walled
Germany.
city.
Looks like German. Yeah.
Tastes like burning.
Tastes like burning. Yeah, it looks like Germany, but yet some of the other kids clearly look like they're from America.
Yeah, I mean, well, they said Mike TV's in Arizona.
Yeah.
And Augustus is from Germany, but it's not where Charlie Bucket's from.
No.
Violet is from Montana, I thought.
Yeah.
Because her dad is the best used car salesman.
That's Square Deal Sam, so yeah.
Yeah, in Montana, I thought, right?
Yeah, and Veruca's from Britain.
Yep. So we're at Bill's Candy Store.
Nuts.
Nuts. And the Candyman, who is Bill.
Who is, in his off time, a serial killer.
Is he?
I don't know. He just comes off that. He's so happy around kids that, you could see him, like, really happy when he slams that thing in the girl's chin.
Right, and that's my problem with that
That's so messed up. That's just...
Why is he giving away free candy? Like, are you not making a profit? You just want to toss out free candy to all these little kids?
And then he's like, with Charlie.
Yeah, and in a later scene.
Yeah.
But why are you giving away free candy? Like, why does, what's happening here? You don't care about profits?
Well, there is one little thing that we're forgetting. It's in the script.
Oh, I understand that. It's in the script.
Mr. Reality here.
Exactly.
Oh, is that going to be your answer for every problem I have in this movie? It's in the script?
That's my answer for everything that I'm watching with my wife. She'll go, why did he go up the stairs? Why did he jump up?
Oh, so you're one of those that don't like magic.
No, I like magic. No, I don't. Anyways.
You must hate this
please
movie.
Continue. No, actually, you know what? I will have my own moment to talk about it.
Oh, yes, you will. Okay, back to Bill. So, yeah, he's just creepy. And like you said, there is a scene where he almost hits a girl in the face when he opens up the counter.
He hits her in the chin.
He doesn't. She pulls away. I watched it a couple of times. Okay. He almost does it. But it's like, what are you doing?
Do we need a Kevin Costner breakdown? It's like, see that back to left. Back and to the left. She hits right there, back to the left.
He's just a creep. He looks like a creepy...
Yeah, he's always smiling. He's always happy around kids. And he's just... Then he eats that or he doesn't eat the lollipop. But he undoes the lollipop.
Yeah,
and
just
hands
gives
it to her.
Yeah.
And Charlie's out there like, why can't I come in if you're giving away free candy?
Right.
He's just staring through the window.
Because you look like Children of the Corn, kid.
Which he should have been able to
Corn.
come in, but he was running late.
He was. He had to deliver his papers.
Yes, he has a job to do, unlike the other kids. So he's running home, and he runs into our good friend, the Tinkerman Meat Cleaver.
Meat Cleaver Tinkerman.
Why is this guy giving Charlie unsolicited advice? Charlie didn't say anything to him. He's just looking at the factory, and this creepy guy just starts, spewing off the fairy tale thing, the fairy poem that I was reading.
No one goes in, no one comes out.
Yeah,
He's like creepy Sam from Friday the 13th. You better listen to him, kid. Or this is kind of what this movie is. It's like a kid-friendly slasher film.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, on YouTube they've done like
horror re-edits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where they re-edit but with a horror background. It's very Banana Splits-esque if you've ever watched
the new one? Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
But why does he have a cart with cleavers?
It's like cleavers, and he's got like a ladder. At first, I thought it was a chimney sweep, and I had to rewind and put the subtitles on when Charlie's like, "I think he was a tinker." I'm like, "What the hell is a tinker?"
Yeah, a tinker man. Like he just tinkers around with different things.
Yeah, I guess he's just like an odd job guy.
Yeah. But in England or wherever they are, do they really need a meat cleaver and a giant machete? Like, oh, hey, good thing you're walking by my house.
Well, maybe someone gets caught in a bear trap. You just gotta cut the leg off.
I don't think so, but I don't know. That part was a little creepy as a kid, right? Like that's what it's there for.
Yeah, it's there for ominence.
But now it's just there for okay. I don't understand. So yeah, Tinkerman. What? I don't get it. So then he rushes home to his cute little house, where the smallest TV in the world awaits him.
They're so poor, yet they have a TV.
Yeah, but it's a small TV.
Well, if they would eat less cabbage water, they could have a bigger TV.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really small TV.
1%ers.
And then, so again, we call Mrs. Bucket Mom. I call her Mama Bucket because I don't know her name, so we're just going to call her Mama. Where's Charlie's dad?
Her name is Phila.
Is it?
Phila Bucket.
Oh, stop it.
No,
Why did I fall for that?
You don't know where Mr. Bucket is?
No, in this movie, where is
balls
Mr.
pop out of his mouth?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Bucket.
That was a great commercial.
I did the wrong noise.
What was that, like the late 80s?
It was late 80s, early 90s. Mr. Bucket.
The balls come out of my mouth. And
Mr. Bucket.
Buckets of fun.
I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls in my top. I'm Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth and we'll pop. I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run. I'm Mr. Bucket. Buckets of fun.
Yeah.
So we know where Mr. Bucket is.
Yeah.
He's prospering.
Mr. Bucket just dipped.
Balls going in and out of his mouth.
Do you know where Mr. Bucket is? Who's filling up the bucket? Find out next episode, folks. Drip, drip goes the bucket.
Oh, my God.
Not only can we make it a horror movie, folks, but we can also apparently make it into adult cinema very quickly.
Or an American cinema, I guess that you're going to go say.
No, I was going to adult cinema because we were doing innuendos. Innuendos.
So I like to think Mr. Bucket is just deceased.
Sure, let's go.
I mean, he was in the new movie, and in the book, he's alive. But in this movie,
he died and took all the money.
He died, left them with nothing.
Left him with his parents.
Yeah, even though he was supposedly a dentist, because they talk about that. So he left them with no insurance policy, no health insurance. But here, you can have my mom and dad.
I know where Mr. Bucket is.
In Rio de Janeiro.
No, he hightailed it to Skid Row and started dating Audrey.
Oh, the universe. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I can see that.
the musical universe.
Okay.
Because he's a dentist.
Oh, from Little Shop of Horrors. Wow.
Dentist. He's got a talent for leaving his family.
That was good.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't. Leaving his kids. Anyways, you get the point.
Charlie's dad was Steve Martin. We got that now.
Yep. So Charlie just comes home with his paycheck of whatever.
His pay of change.
Yeah, and says, we're going to have a feast tonight.
Yeah.
Look at this big, giant loaf of bread. And then Mrs. Bucket automatically basically accuses him of stealing.
Where did you get that?
Like, he seems like a good kid. He's like, what, maybe 11 years old, and he already has a job. Charlie, where did you get that? I bought it.
And in the next beat, he gives up the rest of his money for his grandfather's tobacco habit.
Right. It was obviously a different time, but here, Grandpa Joe, have some tobacco. What the heck? Like, Grandpa Joe, and we'll talk about this later, is one of my least favorite characters. He's a selfish old man. I mean, luckily at this point he realizes he shouldn't take the money, because when bread looks like a feast instead of cabbage water, he doesn't deserve to have, tobacco. But
he gave it up.
But can he really give it up that fast? I mean, I've never been a smoker.
But it's tobacco. It's pipe tobacco, so it's not as addictive because you don't inhale.
Oh, okay.
It's just delicious.
Ew.
It really is. I used to smoke a pipe.
I believe you. Well,
I can see you smoking a pipe.
Yeah, because he's an old man. So it sounds like Bubbles.
So you're a big fan of Mr. Bucket, huh?
Still talking about Mr. Bucket, huh?
Charlie Bucket.
Smoking a pipe.
Oh, my God.
Grandpa Joe.
And then, like, Georgina, and Josephine just kind of hanging out. Don't really talk much.
By the way, they're all in one bed.
They are all in one bed.
Yeah.
It's gross.
For 20 years.
Do you see a bedpan anywhere, folks?
Yeah. They haven't gotten out of bed. They say that for 20 years.
Right.
Oof.
What happens in that bed? I'll tell you what happens in that bed. Or let my friend John Oliver explain what happens, or probably does happen, or could happen in that bed.
Put 40 seconds on the clock, please. Regarding this, I don't mind Charlie's grandparents sleeping in one bed. Everyone always asks, but what about when they have to fuck? Do they fuck separately or all do it together? To which I say, I don't care, and I hope so. They're not related by blood, they're related by their children's marriage. It's not their fault they have to share one rickety bed. Grandpa George is going to want to make love to Grandma Georgina. They've shared a life together, and Grandpa Joe is obviously going to want to get it in Grandma Josephine. That's the mother of his children, but at a certain point, if you don't invite the couple sleeping in the same bed to join in, it is just rude. So the next time you talk shit about Charlie Bucket's elder sexual proclivities, ask yourself this: are they the problem, or were you just raised in a puritanical society that shames any sexual deviation from the quote-unquote norm? Oh, that's my time.
It's got to be really uncomfortable, right? You can't move on your side. You can't sleep on your stomach. What?
And Charlie sleeps in a corner where a drape is, but you never see where his mom sleeps. Like, she just sleeps at the kitchen table.
I think she sleeps at the laundry room where she's always seems to be. I think she probably just leaves. She's like, I'm leaving. I need some peace and quiet with the laundry.
Maybe Charlie's pennies aren't cutting it. Maybe she sleeps at night and makes up the extra.
Yeah, that's why the tinker came up to him, because he's like, say hi to your mother for me.
No.
She really cares about your education.
Are you treating your mother okay?
Mama, what's vacation?
Oh, your mama sure
Your
does
mama
care
sure
about
does
your
care about
education.
your education, son. Ooh. Oh, now we're talking Forrest Gump. Okay.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump and Charlie Bucket are kind of similar. All right, so that was the Bucket house. So then we move on real quick to the classroom. So now we're introduced to Charlie's teacher.
Played by Freddie Jones.
Oh,
Can I say
from
Krull?
Before we get into Freddie Jones, the one tidbit that you forgot about the Chocolate Factory, or excuse me, about the Candyman. Sammy Davis Jr. was originally supposed to be.
You're right.
Yeah.
The Candyman. He literally sang the song.
He sang the song. Yeah.
It's just, I believe, scheduling conflicts brought him from not being able to tape it. So, can you imagine that? A black man serving a bunch of white kids candy.
Well, there wasn't. Was there any black people in this movie?
No.
So why start with Sammy Davis Jr.? Is that what you're getting at?
No, I'm saying it would be weird in casting to have one black man, Lando, and and that would just be, I don't know, aesthetically strange in Germany too.
That is pretty weird, though, now that I'm going through all the people in my head. I never saw one black person in the crowd.
Were there any in, like, the peanut shelling?
No.
Huh.
I don't think so.
Not even hired labor.
Wow.
I don't know.
And here
Interesting.
Mr. Salt actually has a work ethic. If I'm gonna have slave workers, they're gonna be white.
Oh Oh boy.
Huh.
Wow.
Interesting. Oh.
The Candyman can.
So Mr. Turkentine was his name. Mr. Turkentine.
Yes. Back to the teacher. Sorry,
and
Freddie
he's
Jones.
He's hilarious.
He is funny, and he's talking about wart remover.
Oh, that was the scene with all the chemicals?
Yeah, that's the first time we meet him. And then he talks about that's when the announcement comes up, right?
Class dismissed.
Yeah, and that's what I don't get. So this, he hears all this commotion outside in the hallways, and he's like, "Hey, you, whatever that kid's name was, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, Mr. Wonka's opening the factory. He's invited everybody to come out. Class dismissed. No, it's just for 5 people. Class
undismissed.
Class undismissed. Class redismissed." Okay, so stop. Why are we allowed to just dismiss classrooms now when there's just an announcement?
It's setting up the like I mentioned before, the Wonkamania. We all know that Willy Wonka makes the best chocolate. That's the whole thing about this whole intro of the movie, and that's why Charlie was standing in front of the factory just drooling when his mom's boyfriend came up, and it's the seed being implanted of the idea of that Wonka is so mysterious that he's opening up the thing that it's such a big deal that we're closing school because of it.
Yeah,
and
I just don't like that.
It could have been explained better.
Yeah,
and that's one thing I did like from the Tim Burton adaptation was he kind of went into the Wonka past, and when he went to Loopaland and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely,
and that kind of brings you more into the world. But I like how this scene flows because the teacher is so quick with it, and he's like, "Class undismissed, class redismissed," because he's just so ready for this thing to do.
Yeah, but he ended up letting them all leave, and our good Charlie Bucket was the last to leave because
what's he gonna buy?
He just doesn't have a lot of money, and woe is me. I mean, he's kind of a bummer, right? Like,
well, not really. He's very hopeful, but he's a realist.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, I may not win, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, he thinks he deserves to win, which, okay, whatever. I mean, you can have that attitude, but...
And we can get into that later, too.
So I went from, in my head, having a parody of the teacher doing, like, a prequel to The Hangover, where he's dismissing class easy. So now it's the adventure of the teacher while all the kids are distracted by the chocolate factory and the hijinks that he goes on to.
Do people remember that movie? Because it's a very unremarkable movie.
The Hangover?
Yeah.
Yeah, people remember it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I love that movie, but I don't understand what that has to do with. What do you mean the teacher goes through a hangover?
The movie The Hangover.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go for a joke because Bradley Cooper leaves so abruptly. It's like,
got it.
Yeah, I got it.
I didn't.
Yeah. And the next thing, Willy Wonka, you said was hard luck, but he's a realist. I just got this.
You mean Charlie?
Charlie, him too. So I just got this image of basically Charlie being the girl from Flashdance. Where she's working, she's a realist, she's trying to get out, and then suddenly it's just, an awkward scene where he's trying out for Willy Wonka wearing leg warmers.
Yeah, I thought of that, Charlie and leg warmers dancing to Maniac.
Thank you. And then the Tinker, just throwing a couple coins. Says, this is...
Tinker sets a chair down and he pulls the water on himself.
As his cart is up there because he can't, separate himself from the precious cleaver cart.
And Mrs. Bucket's just, melting.
She's not with him. Stop that. That's where you guys lose me.
This is Willy Wonka fanfic now.
All right, so next we go into the shrink scene. So now the movie has
these are the scenes I love.
He has they have these 3 to 4 scenes that have crazy adult humor that I never got it as a child, and then once I got it as an adult, it's just genius.
The Wonkamania scenes.
You keep saying that over
because
and
they say
over
it on
again.
the news. They're like, Wonkamania has taken over, and that's when those scenes start.
Right, but the shrink one doesn't have a TV on it in it. It's just the shrink.
Well, but that's when it starts.
Oh,
the quote unquote Wonkamania scenes.
Yeah, the shrink one's funny, and they're like, I can't sleep at night. I don't know what's going on, and
the auction house is my absolute favorite one.
Oh, Her Majesty.
4,000, 5,000. Her Majesty.
Yeah, that one's funny.
And the police is another good one. Those scenes are especially. Oh my god! And the news reporter guy, he's great. everything about those scenes are
But as a kid, they were boring to me.
I would always skip everything until he got to the factory.
Really?
As a kid, yeah. After seeing it like a few times.
Oh. The only thing I would skip was Cheer Up Charlie, let's be honest. And I still did again.
Yesterday, I got through half of Cheer Up Charlie, and I'm like, nope, I'm done.
It's such a sad song.
It breaks the movie down. You've got this insanely funny scenes that are like that are just like ready to grab you and make you go, hey, this is going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
And then Cheer Up Charlie because he didn't win a goddamn ticket.
So wait, are you saying that he was upset because he didn't win a GD ticket, so he needs to cheer up? That's weird. And you have a song about it to cheer him up?
She just
she doesn't sing it to him.
She
sings
it out to the window.
Yeah.
She sings it for him.
She sings it to the tinker who's out there.
She does not sing it to the tinker.
While Grandpa Joe watches.
Grandpa Joe's in bed. All right, so now the first ticket has been found.
Yes, the first ticket
by Augustus Gloop. Germany's own Augustus Gloop. And we see him and the family sitting at a dining hall. Augustus was pretty well behaved. I will say this. Augustus is a very good kid.
Ask me how it makes me feel.
How does it make you feel, Adam?
Hungry!
That wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't.
So he's just well behaved. I mean, he's well behaved, but he's just really hungry. And
yeah, every kid in this movie, aside from Charlie, has their quirk, and eating is his.
Right, but he's a good kid. That's the one thing. Like, Augustus is pretty well behaved for the most part. The only funny thing he says, which isn't bad, he says he feels bad for Wonka because it's going to cost him a fortune. Because he's basically going to eat him at a house and home. And I love Mrs. Gloop. She's adorable. She like pops her little hair up and, she's just like, oh, hello. And then you look over at Mr. Gloop and he just eats the top of the microphone.
And have you noticed that no matter where they are in the world, the microphone is exactly the same?
Yes. It's that tall, goofy microphone.
And it has that bar that goes over the actual microphone part. I've just noticed. I was like, this is the same microphone.
That was the extra crunchy part.
They had to fish it out of Mr. Gloop's bowel. That's right.
So we're introduced to numero uno, Augustus Gloop.
Number one.
So next we have Charlie. Charlie, this scene bothers me. He tricks his family that he got a ticket, and that's not nice. So he comes home and he's like, look at me, I got a golden ticket. And they're all like, oh my God, show us, Charlie. And he's like, he shouts at them. He shouts at his grandparents. He's like, fooled you. He's like, in case you were wondering if it'll be me, it won't be. And it's like, why did you do that?
Well, first let's go back and he got the chocolate from his grandfather who gave up his tobacco.
Yeah, but how did he leave the house to get that chocolate bar?
Right. And it's not a chocolate bar, it's a moon pie. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's the Willy Wonka version of a moon pie.
I like moon pie.
Here's the thing about that. If I was going to buy a ticket knowing, well, I guess at that point, he would know what the ticket looks like because Augustus got it. But a ticket is like a long square thing, a rectangle thing. Mm-hmm. Why would you think a ticket would be in a round piece of candy? Or the scrumdiddlyumptious thing, which is that long thing. Of course it's going to be in a regular Wonka bar, you idiots. Why are you buying other stuff? Mm-hmm. So that's just stupid.
Yeah, and when he's like, I got it! You're like, tricked you, didn't I? I'm like, why? Why? You're so down on yourself that you're just gonna make your whole family feel terrible for you.
Yeah, that wasn't nice.
He just wanted
Crying
to.
wolf.
I know where Roman's going with this.
I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I'm watching with a different set of eyes.
With your special eyes.
Well, no. As a kid, we weren't very well to do at all. We had boxes that we wrapped up for Christmas, so everyone wouldn't know that we were broke. So on and so forth. So when I watch Willy Wonka, I could relate to that. I could relate just wanting to generate a win. Just something. You need just some positive momentum. So yeah, I'm going to go a little bit deep on this one, but that's kind of how I'm reading into this one a little bit, and that's how I've always interpreted the film as a kid watching it. And still to this day, I still see the same
Like he's manifesting a future win?
Yeah, where it's like, you know what, it's the same thing. It's the same losing streak that we're on. We're on an 0-26 team right here. We just need a first down.
But the problem is it's unlike Charlie. He's
Well, I've been the same kid the whole time, and it's got me here. So why don't we flip the script just one time, see what happens?
No, you don't do that with a character that early into a narrative, unless you turn him into a psychopath.
Which that leads into a little bit later into the film, but anyways,
was Charlie ever a psychopath? I don't think so.
He has makings.
Could be.
He has the makings.
He does have the makings.
Everybody in this movie has the makings.
That's true. That's true.
So that's
especially Mama Bucket with her slasher boyfriend.
All right, easy. He's not the Candyman. Candyman comes out in 1989.
That's right.
All right, so next we have the second ticket winner.
Candyman.
Second ticket winner is Veruca Salt.
I thought it was the Argentinian. No, that's the fourth. Okay, sorry.
No, the Argentinian was the fifth.
Oh, yeah.
The final.
Yes.
And that would have been so awkward with the one old guy.
And it wasn't an Argentinian anyways. We'll go over that.
Anyways, yeah. So Veruca Salt. Veruca
Salt, yes. The only reason she got the ticket second in line was because her father decided to pay all his workers to switch from nuts to candy bars. And he basically worked them to death after 3 days, opening thousands of chocolate bars, and they finally found one.
Yeah, it was like cases upon cases upon cases upon cases.
Yeah, they had been working night and day for 3 days. That's ridiculous.
And poor Mr. Salt, I always felt bad for him because even during the tour, he was one of my favorite characters because he was just so real. He was a real person character, and he was just manipulated by all the women around him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Mrs. Salt was bad. Because
she was happy daughter, happy life.
Yeah, which that's dumb.
Yeah. You don't live by your kids' happiness.
Yeah, she was like, I forget the exact thing she said. It wasn't happy daughter, happy life, like happy wife, happy life, but she said something like that's what matters in this life is happiness and children or something like that. And he was like, okay.
Yeah, and but that scene was hard to watch, especially as an adult. Especially being I'm not a parent, but I know quite a few parents, and I would probably disown knowing them if they acted that way for their kids.
For what? That he bought all those candy bars?
Did all that stuff just because her kid's like, I want it now!
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a difference between doing everything you can to help get your child something or somewhere, but she's just a brat.
Yeah, and that's her quirk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually more than a quirk. She's just a
well, that's her personality quirk for
she's a bad egg.
And I did not know until I was in my 30s that Veruca is a British term for a vagina.
Yes, it is. Do you think they named that on purpose?
Salty vagina.
Salty vagina?
That sounds like Doll. I mean, he was pretty blue sometimes.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I really like her though. I think she grew up to be something big because she knows what she wants.
Yeah, she goes down the chute.
Yeah.
Yeah, into the incinerator.
She didn't die.
Why is the incinerator not? I don't know. Okay, you know what? I need some new dad jokes, so let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
If you're looking for a hot podcast, I've got the one for you. The hottest podcast of the year is The Real Housewives of Reality, starring Scarlett and Alison. This podcast has everything. It's girl meets girl, 2 Bravo-obsessed hosts, a producer named Leon, who knows what love is and is very often screamed at and or abused on the air, allegedly. Weekly recaps of all your favorite housewives, hot gossip, an unadulterated and inexplicable love of Iowa, deals on Mary Kay and BetterHealth.com, relationship advice if you want to stay single forever, and who doesn't. Plus, there's bonus material like the Bravo Booster Pack, which highlights the most iconic Bravo episodes through all the years, and housekeeping with the hottest gossip for you to listen to while you keep your own house, if you do. Hey, tune in. There's so much more. I said what I said.
Okay, so why are all these parents allowing Slugworth to just pop up and touch their children when they win the ticket? Are they just not paying attention? Like Slugworth just pops up and just whispers and touches them.
My favorite Slugworth moment is coming up.
But why do we allow this?
It was the 70s. You were touching everything in the 70s.
I don't even think they noticed him.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Yeah, he was like coming out of the corner and just like whispering into the ear, and only the camera was catching him.
It's funny, if you didn't know that he actually existed, it could also be said like that he was never even there, like because you never saw anybody look at him but the kid. But my favorite was when he went up to Augustus and he just starts like giving him more sausages on the plate. Like, as he's whispering in his ear, like, here, eat some more sausages.
My favorite is when we get to Mike TV. That's my favorite Slugworth moment.
I don't know if I remember that one. He was in the room with the microphone,
he
right?
was twirling the microphone.
Yeah, twirling the microphone.
Whenever everyone talked, he would twirl the microphone at them.
Slugworth is funny. Next is my favorite scene that's the adult humor one, is the machine scene, the Simon System 4004.
Yes. And this guy was he did a lot of bit roles.
He looks like Mr. Turkentine. Similar. Like they have that same look on their face.
He did a lot of bit roles mainly in the 80s. I think he even had a couple roles guest roles on Night Court. But that's when I think I was like 19 when I first saw that scene as an adult, quote unquote adult, and I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious.
Yeah, because I didn't get it. Like, okay, you're telling the machine exactly what it can do with 5,000 pounds of chocolate, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You're just pushing buttons,
and it's the same two buttons,
the same two buttons over and over again. Yeah, I mean, that's hilarious, but kids don't understand that.
And the aggressive way he was pressing it was like, I could tell the computer what it can do with a lifetime supply of chocolate.
Right.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
It's a great scene. Awesome. Next, our third ticket, and that's Violet. Violet Beauregard. Our gum chewer.
Daughter of Sam Beauregard.
Square deal Sam. So, she's a brat. I mean, they're all brats, but she is the worst because she just can't stand the spotlight being taken from her. And every time Sam says something, she either punches him in his stomach or his side and just yells,
"Cool it, Dad!"
Yeah, can it, Dad, or cool it, Dad. She just loves the attention. Even how she smiles and waves to her best friend Cornelia,
who is also her biggest enemy.
Yeah,
frenemy.
Yes, yeah, that was a frenemy before that word was a word.
Yes.
So we have our third ticket.
Free Cornelia.
And that was probably the creepiest Slugworth moment because that's when he was like moving her hair aside and talking to her.
Yeah, and she had a look on her face like, "Who are you?" But Sam's just not paying attention, and nobody else just
Slugworth Epstein.
Can I sniff your hair?
Slugworth Epstein. But she's still chewing her gum the whole time. She's chewing it like a horse.
Or like the Oompa Loompa say, a cow.
Yes. Next, we have the clothes soup scene is what I like to call it because we visit Mama Bucket at her work.
Yes, it's the Mama Bucket aria.
And she's just, making hot clothes soup with a giant wooden spoon.
Well, Charlie did say he was tired of cabbage water. So what are you going to do next? Clothes soup.
You're gonna pull up a packet of laundry, sit down, and have a pity party for yourself because that's what he does.
Yep.
He has a pity party. Which, that's fine. Talk to your mom about how sad you are, and then she, you go upon your way, and then she sings the horrible, awful song.
And this is the thing about Charlie at this point. You're like, all right, dude, your entire life goal now is to go on a tour.
Right.
That is the ultimate thing in your entire life is to go on a tour and get a lifetime supply of chocolate.
Right, because they don't know that they're going to get the factory.
Right. They just think they're going to get a lifetime supply of chocolate.
Yeah. So he just wants chocolate for the rest of his life and some bread and cabbage soup.
I guess, he's so tired of cabbage soup, he's just going to survive on chocolate.
I mean, hey, that's fine.
He could have chocolate soup.
Chocolate soup.
chocolate cabbage soup.
Chocolate-coated bread. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Oh, man. When I was in France, I would take a piece of a baguette and put like pieces of Toblerone in it with some brie. That was amazing.
Toblerone and brie?
Yeah, it's so damn good.
It actually sounds amazing.
Oh. Well, brie is a good cheese to have with something sweet.
I was shown to do that by a Parisian.
Because you put brie in with
was he wearing a hat? And does it look like his movements were being controlled by a rat?
Ratatouille.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Did he have a cleaver near him?
He said his name was Tinker, so
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to know he's still getting around.
he had this little blonde lady on his arm.
Now, the thing that I want to know is, does DCF use Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory as basically training video? Guys, if you see someone just living off of cabbage water, we definitely want to, I don't know, intervene with this. Yeah, if you see 4 people living in a house by themselves with no income and the kid working with the newspaper route, that's probably a bad thing.
Yeah, and he's wearing the same red sweater every day.
Well, it was just after the 60s. I mean, they were lucky they didn't sell him for food, so... I mean, he was a blonde kid in German USA, and, you know, he probably could have gone to Brazil and not even known it.
Marvel's What If? What if Germany won the war? It creates Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That's right.
Charlie always looked like an older kid to me. Like
He
an
did.
old soul. He had really bad hair. Always needed to be brushed. Looked like a toupee.
He looked like his teeth were messed up, like he had like dentures and something.
Let's just call it what it is. Charlie looks like Macaulay Culkin does now.
Oh man.
Maybe 5 years ago. He looks pretty good now.
Yeah.
After he got off whatever he was on.
Yeah, like which phase of detox are we talking about? Like which time?
He still looks a little rough now, but I think it's because of what he plays in American Horror Story. But yeah, he looks a lot better than he did. But yeah, Charlie just looked old to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it was his one and only role, and he went to live on a sheep farm for the rest of his life.
Huh.
Jack Albertson.
Does he live next to the guy who made Tron with his
Oh, well, you know, Liesberger!
Liesberger and Albertson.
Box later.
Oh, jeez.
Anyways, please continue.
All right, so we're done with the saddest song in the film. Now we're going to move on to who got the 4th ticket.
Mike TV.
Mike TV.
In Arizona.
Is that his real last name?
That's all he's known as.
Exactly.
Is Mike TV.
I think it's funny that he's obsessed with the television set and his last name is Teevee.
Once again, it's one of those names that's like, oh, this is from a children's book.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's not the letters. It's like spelling out. It's the phonetic T.
Like TP. Oh. He was watching like cowboys and Indians shooting stuff.
Yeah,
and
he just loves his cowboy shows.
The news reporter asks him, "You like the killing, huh?" And he says, "That's what life's all about." Like, the things that this kid says is so funny, and it's like my favorite quote ever, but I didn't think it was funny when I was little, and because he was like, you know, my dad won't let me get a real gun, not till you're 12, son. Like, that's just my favorite thing in the whole movie.
But again, that's Arizona.
Right. But the dad has just got this like big white teeth grin, just like proud of him. Not till you're 12, son. Like, what? And then the mom. So if he had brought Mr. TV instead of Mrs. TV, it would have been a completely different movie, because he just sits on his ass and watches TV.
Right.
Literally. And he just seems so like nonchalant, right? Like, I think he's lazy, but Mrs. TV is very wound up.
Yeah, well, she was a school teacher, wasn't she?
Yes, yeah, and she still dresses like a school teacher.
And she knows Rachmaninoff.
She does know Rachmaninoff, and she
Mrs. TV is the hottest character in
and
the
that's
film.
not saying much.
Yeah.
She looks really old. All these parents look very old
Yes.
for having a 9, 10, 11-year-old. I think Augustus's mom is kind of youthful looking.
I think, and I think they did that to distinguish between young and old.
Yes. Yeah, I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Which is completely different from the second one. Sorry, we keep bringing that up, but it's completely different as far as the parents. But
yeah, I remember someone saying that we were not going to talk about.
Okay, my God.
Just
so
saying.
she wants to feed him all
His
of his
TV
TV dinners in front of the TV.
dinners.
He's never even seen the table. Like, she's so proud of that. Like, oh my God, it's horrible. Horrible.
And then there's Slugworth swinging his mic around every time someone talks. He's
Yep.
flipping it around with flourish.
And I don't remember, do we see Slugworth talking to Mike TV in his ear?
I
at
think
that
so.
point?
I
Okay.
think so. I think he has like the mic to the mom, and then he starts whispering into
I mean,
his
good
ear.
luck trying to get Mike to pay attention to you.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Well, he did because he asked for a gobstopper. So
Yeah, he could have, offered him a gun.
yeah.
I wonder if Slugworth offered him something more, like every kid something different.
Asa Slugworth.
Like Gustus, you can have all you can eat food for the rest of your life. Violet.
You can have whatever you want for Veruca.
You can have all you can chew gum.
Hey, Mike
Veruca,
TV.
who knows?
Veruca, you can have your bean feast, whatever the fuck that
Mike
is.
TV, you can shoot Augustus.
Aw, poor Augustus.
Mike TV is the guy that starts the purge.
Oh, poor Mike TV.
I want to play Mike TV on Dead Red Redemption.
Or Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead. Have I mentioned I'm autistic? Thank you.
I knew what you meant.
Exactly. She gets it.
So we got one ticket left, and that's the 5th ticket, and it is found by some guy in Paraguay. Not what you said earlier.
Argentina. He was thinking of Charlie leaving Nazi Germany, being a blonde-haired.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's found by some old guy in Paraguay. Looks like a cross between a spy and adventure video game character to me. Like way old.
Yeah. Wasn't he like an industrialist? Like he was like a billionaire philanthropist type.
I don't know. I probably
he was rich enough to fake a golden ticket.
The ticket, yeah, which we never really saw what the ticket looked like. But the picture of him on the nightly news, I remember being really creeped out by that. So yeah,
completely different movie.
It was what?
Paraguayan and the
An
Chocolate
Argentinian?
Factory.
Oh.
Like, who would it be?
Paraguayan and the Chocolate Factory. It would be this guy and his like super ancient grandfather. He's like 102.
Again, let's do the what if series. What if no one ever discovered that it was a fake ticket, and then you just see Charlie like basically living in squander as he watches the Wonka go up, and he's like, must be nice.
And this like middle-aged rich guy's like, I've won the world.
Yeah, like what? I mean, obviously that wasn't going to work. It's for children.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't say it was for children, but we know it was for children.
Well, he says it at the end.
Yes,
that it's for children.
So we knew this creepy guy wasn't going to get in. So,
but that bums Charlie the freak out.
It does. And after that, we go back to Mr. Turkentine's class, and everybody is like completely bummed. Like they just got back from 2-week summer vacation and their life is about to end, and they just don't want to learn about percentages, but they're going to anyways.
Which is a great scene, too.
It is. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty funny. But again, I didn't get the funniness of that scene when I was younger because I was like, percentages? I mean, I don't even know if I know what percentages are, but it was, I don't know.
Well, the fact that the Charlie's teacher could not do 2%.
Two?
I can't do 2.
I can't do 2.
So let's do 200.
Aside from getting a horrible stomach ache.
Yeah, the fact that he could not calculate 2 as a percentage.
Oh, and that's just a great look on his face where it's like, what? No.
2? Yeah. How much money don't you have?
Yeah, basically. Like, who only has 2 chocolate bars?
You know, and that really reminded me of. We're gonna start comparing poor lives. That really reminded me of when we were at Indian Rocks and people were like talking about what they got for Christmas, and I was like, I never said anything because I didn't get a lot for Christmas because I was also a very poor child. And being at a private school, everybody had everything.
Yeah.
And that I felt that way even watching it this last time with Charlie. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I was.
Yeah.
You know, I would say 2 and people would look at me like I had lobsters crawling out of my ears.
Lobsters.
I got the toys from the dollar store. I got soccer players that I'd never heard of because I
did too. I got the adventure commandos. I mean, they weren't G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
the off-brand ones.
I got starving rhinoceroses. Yeah. Yeah.
I got Mr. Pale.
Instead of
Mr. Bucket.
Oh, that kind of pale. I was thinking pale like in color. I didn't get it. So is Mr. Turkentine like an overall teacher for Charlie? Like he teaches science, he teaches math. He's got dead animals in the room. What's up with that?
I guess so. I mean, we had that when we were at least up to 5th grade. We had one teacher.
Yeah.
Or if you were special ed, you had one teacher.
That's
in
true.
Middle school too. Just saying.
Yeah, he's got dead animals all over the room.
Yeah, I mean he knows everything except how
percentages
works into percentages.
Yeah,
he can do chemistry like nobody's business, but when it comes to percentages, you know, calling the principal.
That's when he called out sick on that day.
Principal
in the university.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's when he called out sick when they're
doing
the
percentages. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the best student, where's he at today? Oh,
It was just one question on the exam, and he's just like, "Oh, I got that one wrong."
200%.
Later on in my life, when I have to teach this, I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna make it 200%. Everything's gonna be hundreds.
The origin story to the teacher, hilarious. We're making the prequel. Come on.
like it.
Let's go ahead and write it.
All right, so we don't think there's any tickets left, right? So Charlie's walking home.
Charlie decides to treat himself.
Oh man, Charlie finds money in the dirty ass road drain and decides to drown his sorrows. So he heads back to Bill's candy store,
Which is the shiniest coin I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've seen freshly minted coins.
Those are big. That looked like a chocolate coin to me.
Well, it was Germany, so it was probably a Deutschmark.
Was it Magneto's coin?
It probably was. It came right out of Kevin Bacon's head.
There's hardly anybody in the candy store this time.
No, it's over, and he has everything out on display again because he talked about that.
Yeah.
He's like, I can put them out on display now.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't really care what you get me, and Bill's like, okay, well, try a Slugworth Sizzler.
No, he's like, try a Scrumdiddlyumptious bar.
I thought he got a Slugworth Sizzler.
No, he talked about it. He's like, do you want a Slugworth
Oh.
Sizzler? Do you want a Wonka Scrumdiddlyumptious bar?
Oh.
And it's got that like zipper thing that he rips off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a bar to me. It looks like a long Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, it was like a Toblerone.
Gross.
That you put in a French baguette with some brie.
And then Bill demands money by coughing. Yet before, he had no problem just willy-nilly giving away, you know.
And even that was before the Wonkamania. I mean, he was doing great before that.
Who was doing great?
Bill.
Oh, yeah.
He was doing so good, he was giving candy away.
Yeah.
And he was giving away these disgusting-looking sodas.
Oh, I thought the sodas looked good.
It looked like dirty lemonade.
Why was it brown?
It was very foggy.
Oh, I would have drank it.
It's called an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, that was Arnold Palmer before.
Yeah.
They were just drinking iced tea and lemonade in the candy store.
Yeah,
exactly. He now is bitter. 20 years later, goes, I did it first.
I did it first. And...
Who can mix your soft drinks?
Oh.
In a single glass.
It's like those Jones sodas.
Grandpa, what happened to your candy store? I gave away too much of the product.
I used to buy the Jones Soda Thanksgiving set every year.
Gross.
Oh my god! I remember the one year that came with a Pepto-Bismol flavored.
That's disgusting.
Jones soda.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And the
Chalky.
Brussels sprouts and garlic. Brock's did that this year with their candy corn. There's a Brock's Thanksgiving dinner.
Gross.
Wow.
I want to find it and send it to Game Dave since he's been doing the Bean Boozled.
That sounds gross. I only like Jones's cream soda. I think that's the only one I've had.
Jones. I love Jones's green apple.
It's hard to find Jones anymore.
It used to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So for the obvious joke, you're jonesing for some Jones.
Jonesing for some Jones.
Yeah, that's what that sugary poison does to you, man. You crave it fortnightly.
Fortnightly.
From So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh, you're after my heart.
And he puts a secret formula in it that makes you crave it fortnightly.
Oh yeah.
I just heard
Try my
Fortnite,
chicken.
that's all.
I got an addictive chemical in my
Well, you have a
chicken.
child.
I know.
Oh yeah.
That's why it came up.
He's
all right,
going
so
to cut his big head on his big pillow. Anyways.
At least you haven't done what I thought you were gonna do.
No.
From that movie.
No.
Why are you guys looking at me? Because you want me to tell you what it is? I thought you guys were gonna go woman.
I knew that was it.
Yeah.
I knew that was it.
Because that's what you guys always do.
Whoa, man! Welcome to So I Married an Axe Murderer podcast from Cinemadness that used to be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Josie and the Pussy.
So
Cats.
where are we?
Well, Charlie's about to buy, something for Grandpa Joe. He has more money, and now he wants to buy something for his Grandpa Joe.
He spends all of his money on chocolate.
Why does he not buy anything for the other 3 grandparents or Mama Bucket?
He wanted to give Grandpa Joe a candy bar because he bought him one before. He bought him 2. We skipped that.
That is right.
Oh yeah, he did.
He got him one in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Which was really creepy because he's like, let's open it. And they're acting like it's such a naughty thing.
Yeah.
Like what side do you want to open it? What end?
I think they just didn't want to wake up the other 3.
I know, it was just crazy. And then he's like, then there's the famous line. I bet the ticket makes the chocolate taste terrible.
Yeah, and it doesn't. We all know that, Charlie. Come on.
Yeah. Charlie.
Otherwise, they wouldn't put that in there.
Stop coming up with excuses for not being a winner.
Stop.
Okay, my warped mind just did it again. I thought if James Wan directed Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like you have this reveal where you pick up the blanket from the grandparents and you realize that they're just one massive person.
Oh, that would be more like David Cronenberg.
Gross.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Or Society.
Society. Yep. Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Let's do an episode on Society.
Wow. Yeah, I think we can mold into that one. we can absorb that one.
We can churn into that.
I think maybe that just might be a you and me YouTube thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where we can start.
Was that movie with that butt?
Yes.
Yes.
No. And the father's line, the guy who was that, he's like, he did that because his son kept calling him a butthead. He's like, look, I guess I'm a butthead now, son.
Wow.
Visual comedy.
Oh, Society's a great movie.
The last thing he saw before he went was his ending.
So,
anyways.
Charlie buys this final chocolate bar for his Grandpa Joe.
Yeah. Poor everybody else in the room. Maybe they don't like chocolate.
But maybe it was just an excuse because as soon as he leaves the place, he opens the damn thing.
Yeah.
Wait, no. He
doesn't.
This is when he walks out and sees the news.
Yeah. So Charlie decides to open the Wonka bar only because the Paraguay guy rigged the whole thing. Otherwise, he would have taken it home to Joe.
He would have taken it to Joe, yeah.
So instead, he wants to be the one that opens it, and he sees it, and he just kind of goes, oh. Like, he doesn't even get too excited. He just kind of, like, looks at it and is like, oh.
Yeah, the crowd is more excited than he is.
So then some lady in the street just grabs Charlie's arm, yells for the whole town, hey, look, the boy got the other ticket, look. And everybody, like, goes around him, poor guy. Luckily, nobody stole it from him.
I was going to say, if that happened today, he wouldn't have that ticket.
No. But good old Mr. Klopek... Joe Peck. Klopek's from another movie.
From the Burbs.
Mr. Joe Peck, Charlie's boss, just pulls him away and tells him to run straight home. And he does.
Run home, Charlie. Run and don't stop for anything. Except for Slugworth.
So again, it
always reminds me of that classic scene in the first season of Family Guy. Where they do the Willy Wonka thing and Peter's running home and he falls on his knee. And he's just as the I don't care. I think Seth MacFarlane is a comedic genius, so you guys can go eat a dick.
Why you guys? Roman's laughing.
I don't know. I was just being very vulgar.
That was mean.
That was being mean.
If this whole island had a bunch of dicks, and you had told me that I had each one of these dicks for freedom, I would say yes.
I would do
thank
it.
You.
Why would there be a beach full of penises?
Anyways, please continue.
I lost my track of thought because now we're talking
Slugworth.
about Family Guy. Oh yeah, how does Slugworth know where all the kids are going to be?
Because he's a spy. We find that out later in the movie.
I mean, yeah, kind of, but how does he know?
Well, because he's this devil character.
Let's be honest, the factory's right down the street from
But it's
Charlie's
not
house.
We don't know this yet.
Well, it's in the same town as Charlie.
No. We don't know that Slugworth is connected to the factory yet.
Right.
Yeah, but hear me out. I think for the 5th ticket, they go, oh shit, we need something. Hold on, just down the street, let's just throw a bone to the local kids.
Oh, you're interesting you bring that up. We'll talk about that because there is a theory that goes along that. So maybe you're right. But
are we going to do fan theories?
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know.
Yeah. So Slugworth, he just shows up and he always gets handsy with kids.
Well, I mean, handsy wasn't really a bad thing then.
I know, but it is now through my adult eyes.
I know.
So
through your special eyes.
So Charlie goes straight home after hanging out with Slugworth for a little bit, yells that he got a golden ticket, and of course no one believes him because he just cried wolf. Why would they? Why would they believe him?
Well, that and they didn't see the news that it was over, too.
Right. Even though they had this small TV on.
Yeah. Because that's what Grandpa says. He's like, you can't have it. It's over.
Right. And then, so he waves the ticket and he's like, yeah, I did get the ticket. And why can't Charlie read it? Mama Bucket's like, read it, Joe. Everything goes to Joe and it just bothers the crap out of me.
Well, Joe is the patriarch.
Yeah, I guess.
That's
kinda
once again,
sad.
1971, of a book written even earlier. It was a patriarchal society where, the man was the breadwinner, and even though he's in bed, he still has control over the world.
Yes.
Wow, I just got
really
deep. Yeah.
So
I can see Sam Elliott reprising the role of Grandpa Joe.
Well, I can read the ticket there.
Oh my God, it's too low.
Come here.
I know.
Come here,
I was borderlining.
Buffalo Bill.
What's his name? You don't know what pain is.
Buffalo Bill.
Precious.
Buffalo Bill would be good because he knows how to dance.
That's
Unlike
true.
Grandpa Joe,
Yeah.
who all of a sudden decides he can get out of bed after 20 years.
Watch his speed.
Watch me, wee! Oh man, he gets out and you can see a little stain on his nightgown.
Well, I mean, he's been laying in there for 20 years.
But they should have done something with that.
And it's funny. I know. There's a lot of hate for Grandpa Joe, and I even belong to a group on Facebook that's called Grandpa Joe is a complete dick. But I don't have as much disdain for him like I used to.
First attempt at the title of that group.
I don't have as much disdain for him as I did because of the way he reacts to everything during the tour later on in the movie. Grandpa Joe is actually pretty funny and witty and real.
He is. I just didn't like him in the first part of the movie.
But the way the way he is now, he's very out for himself.
Yes. Like this is his last hurrah.
He even sang the song "I Have a Golden Ticket."
Right. Instead of "We have a golden ticket."
Or Charlie has a golden ticket.
Yeah.
And I get to go with him. That's not a fun jingle.
Charlie has golden tickets and I get to go with him and watch him do shit that I can't do.
Yeah. It works.
We'll still fizzy lifting drink.
Yeah.
And I almost killed my grandson.
He sure did.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna put Charlie through a flying fan, and then he'll be nothing left until I come home with a factory. Now I've got the golden ticket. And Charlie is a bunch of chunks right now.
Aww.
What if Charlie Charlie in the Chocolate Factory?
Charlie in the Chunky Factory.
What if Charlie got chunked? Charlie Bump! I can't, Grandpa! I can't! Oh!
Charlie Burp! I just took an antacid!
Oh, man.
And Wonk is like, we definitely now have to sanitize the fizzy lifting lab.
Yeah, it's not just the fingerprints; it's all kinds.
Oh
of
man,
stuff.
we go from Cronenberg body horror to Wes Craven's Chocolate Factory.
So Grandpa Joe is just flipping around the small house, and then all of a sudden, yes.
Before he starts flipping around, one of my favorite noises of the whole movie is when Grandpa Joe falls on Charlie and just.
I don't remember that.
Oh, it's great. He falls onto him and he lands on the kitchen table and he's just like
Easy, Dad. Joe.
Like a dying giraffe or whatever.
Walrus.
Yeah.
That sounded more like the death of a Tuscan Raider. I wanted to kill him. I wanted to kill all of them.
They're animals, even the children. We're going to Attack of the Clones now.
Yeah.
I killed a Tuscan Raider.
With my lightsaber and they're gone.
We can't keep the silence going anymore. So Grandpa Joe's flipping around.
Yeah, he's flipping around. So, he's going to go. I don't know how many days they have left. I think it's like a week or something, right?
I thought it was the next day.
No, it wasn't the next day. Oh, wait, yeah. It was either the next day or 2 days because I think the mom was like, that's tomorrow or that's Friday. And I think she's thinking to herself, crap, I got to go find his clothes that he hasn't worn in 20 years.
And I got to paddle him around.
Yeah, I got to go paddle him around in the soup.
I got to sing to my tinker.
No. Quit making Mama Bucket into something she's not.
One in the tink, one in the sink.
Yeah, where does she think she gets her cabbage from?
Seriously.
I think Charlie steals it.
I think if Charlie was stealing, he would steal something other than since he's the one complaining about it.
I don't know. He uses his newspaper money for
cabbage water again. Him and Luke Skywalker would have a wine off.
Is cabbage water just roasted cabbage in water?
It's just cabbage boiled in water.
Cabbage soup?
Except there's no broth. It's just cabbage in water.
That's disgusting.
Boiled cabbage in water.
Blech.
Have a complaint off. It would be Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, I think, is a dark horse in there. You have Willy Wonka, or excuse me, Charlie Bucket.
Charlie Bucket.
Yeah, he's
for what is there. This now?
A wine-off.
A wine-off, yeah.
You have to have the little girl from the remake of...
Do not say War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah.
Do not say Dakota Fanning in War of the Worlds. She did
am.
not complain. She screamed at the appropriate fucking time.
Oh, boy. Here we go again. Anyways.
I was just about to do a video on War of the Worlds, how much it's superior to most of the interpretations. So you got an inside view on that now.
Yeah, forget it.
Not at all that I'm biased to Steven Spielberg whatsoever.
Yeah. It was crap.
So,
anyways, let's go ahead and talk. Yeah.
So the big day arrives.
Yep.
Why do I remember that?
Because you just watched it.
That's right, but it's stuck in my head.
And cue the old man as he frailly clumps out of the door.
Before that, all the winners and their parents or whatever and grandparents are sitting there, right? And once again, Veruca's dad tries to steal the spotlight, and she elbows him again. Like, what is with this elder abuse?
You mean
Did I say Veruca?
Dad?
Violet.
Yes.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah.
The VVs.
I think she's just tired of him going, "Hey, come to my car lot."
Yeah, but guess what? The car lot's buying all her damn gum.
That's true. Well, she only has one.
Yeah, but I switched for the contest. I switched from gum to chocolate. So he's paying for something.
Yeah.
And her awesome outfits. So yeah, Veruca, of course, wants to be the first one in, and Augustus is starving.
Well, when I did some research, and in fact, this is the scene that had Gene Wilder sign on for the movie. They asked him to do the movie, and he said, only if I could come out and do the feeble limping and then do the somersault. And the director's like, why is this the thing that did that? And he's like, because from that point on, you don't know if I'm telling the truth or if I'm being deceptive.
Right. And it's smart.
Yeah. Gene Wilder, I still believe this is his best role.
Yeah, a lot of people will say that.
I absolutely love everything that he does. In fact, I just got the Blu-ray of Haunted Honeymoon today. It just came out in the mail today. That's one of my absolute favorite movies. But what he did in this movie was genius. Genius with a gene.
Genius with a gene.
Yes.
Yes.
Young Frankenstein, how can you go wrong?
But he also...
But I'm saying,
yeah,
I love everything that he does, but he was absolutely brilliant. I mean, the fact that... I know he works well with Mel Brooks. He worked really well with Mel Brooks because they worked off each other. Yeah. This was all him. Mm-hmm. And the stuff that he did in the 80s after that, the like Hanky Panky and the woman in the woman in the red dress, or a woman in red, that's it. And all that, stuff with Richard Pryor, yeah. Well, even the stuff with Richard Pryor did well because they worked off each other. The fact, it was just when he was able to be himself, when he was able to work himself, he made this frothy concoction of just genius.
Mm-hmm. And then he moves forward with fat-shaming Augustus, and he basically lies to tell the kids how great they are. Like, how great to see them and all that. But yeah, I think he body shames Augustus.
He says quite a figure.
Yeah, something like that, right? Oh, no, he says, and in such fine shape you are. Like, oh, okay, great. So we have fat shaming in this movie now.
Well, maybe not. I mean,
he likes the shape.
Yeah,
he likes him big.
Yeah, it's
big.
It's his demographic.
Exactly.
He's gonna look at Charlie and go, "You don't eat my crap."
Okay, well, yeah, I guess, but
yeah, he knows where the stockholders.
All right,
are.
I saw it differently. Okay,
yeah.
All right, he's not fat shaming him. That's just the way he likes him.
That's right.
Because he's gonna eat him later. He's a cannibal.
I'll see you around, Augustus.
Ooh.
Augustus.
Around,
I got it.
Yeah.
You know, when Augustus sits around the house.
He
sits around the house.
Oh, wow.
But a bump.
All right, so now we're back into the actual factory. So this is where the craziness comes.
Well, we're in the first room.
Yes, the contract.
The lobby
where everybody takes off their sweaters and their coats, but yet Wonka can keep his jacket and hat on. I'm sorry, hat. I didn't mean sweaters and coats. Well, I guess I did.
Yeah, because the hands take them.
Yeah, and they take the hats.
Little surprises about every corner, but nothing dangerous.
Yes. Yeah, right. You're a liar.
Well, it's only dangerous if you abuse it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Anybody could have fallen in that water, that chocolate.
You know, he did not say, he said everything in this room is edible.
Mm-hmm.
But so he goes right for the chocolate.
Yeah, but there should have been guardrails or something if you didn't want
this wouldn't be pretty, though.
I know. It could have been like candy rope, like Nerd's rope.
Let's be honest.
Like Sam Beauregard was eating.
Let's be honest. Augie would have eaten through that.
Augie. He would have.
Yeah.
Huh.
But we're not there yet.
No, we're in the contract scene. So most contracts require parental signature if you're under 18, right? Like his didn't.
Well, didn't everybody have to sign that?
Not the parents.
I don't remember that.
Well, no. Doesn't the teacher have a fit? Goes, is this legal?
Yeah, the person who had a problem with it was Sam. He's like, my baby isn't signing everything.
Oh, yeah, I deal with contracts every day.
Yeah, and he's like, good, well, then you must know that they're needed. And he's like, And then, Veruca's just like, well, you're not stopping me from signing anything. And she just grabs the pen and just does it herself. And he's like, Veruca, I like a girl who takes charge.
Veruca's the type of person who'd be like, she gets an email and be like, if you sign up for us, you get a free coffee mug. He's like, hell yeah, I'm signing up for that.
Yes. She's going to be the queen of, like, pyramid schemes.
That's right.
She's going to get everybody to do everything for her. And, yes, everybody signs this contract that nobody can read. I mean, Charlie can sign it.
It starts off huge print, and then it gets down to just minuscule.
Right. And Charlie's like, or Grandpa Joe's like, we don't have anything to
what
lose.
do we got to lose?
Which, no truer words have been said.
And I think we'll have to get into the actual factory tour next time. So make sure you follow us on our social media, on our Facebook, our Instagram, and Twitter. We also have a growing TikTok, and they can all be found on cinemadnesspodcast.com, which is our website. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube page, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us.